Okay, quickly, because I want to take a call.
I'll just say this, one of the reasons we come to what this brother just called and said, Kwame, I believe is his name, is that girls are taught as early as junior high school to want the most adaptive boy. The most adaptive boy in junior high school is the best dancer, the best rapper, the best one, in other words, the one who's practicing early polygamy. He's thought to be very desirable, the superfly. In the same junior high school, there may be Booker T. or George Washington Carver, the one who's found reading. This is the boy they don't want. After they're out of high school and in college, the Booker T then can be found doing the type of work that you are doing, and they shunned him and didn't want him. Now the rapper and the best dancer who cannot find his way to the local welfare office is doing drugs. So you see the vicious cycle, which means we got to go down and start teaching them how to make...
Can Troy throw something in that's going to make this an even more complicated discussion?
Go ahead.
For me, when I hear about relationships between black men and black women and how often we hear often they're kind of dysfunctional or don't work, for me, I have to throw in the racial component. That race is relevant in the relationships between black men and black women because race is relevant in education, the educational system, how we get educated. Race is relevant in the sense of, let's say, white men who are basically in control of this country for the most part. Black men, a lot of us feel that white men are threatened by black men. No, I don't want to be on. I'll be the anonymous person. White men are white men are threatened by black men, but white men are not threatened by black women. Therefore, white men do not have a problem. White men do not have a problem with black women achieving because they don't see black women as a threat. As a matter of fact, they would prefer that the black woman, educationally, financially, etc., would be over the black man because that plays into their desire to keep the black man from being where they are. Now I don't say that as an excuse for black men not achieving, but I believe that it is a factor in this fight between black men and white men over resources, and therefore, the relationship between white men always being about, or oftentimes about, stymieing the progress of black men, correct me if I'm wrong, that therefore, when black men relate to black women, that comes to play. Because if you can't get the job that you deserve because a white man is keeping you from getting the job, you can't do economically for your woman or for your children what the white man is doing for his. Now, so for me, it's a consciousness that we as black men and black women ought to have, that race is relevant in why there's so much conflict in our relationships.
I think there are conflicts in all relationships. I don't want to put that.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't want us to exclude the fact that race is relevant in those.
I hear you.
That was actually That was actually my third bullet. We were going to race. Is race an issue in relationships? And whether or not interracial relationships is still an issue. Do we still care that the quote good black man is taken by the white woman, or the athletes are taken by the...
And let me give you an example.
Do we still care? Does that still matter?
When I was taking the bar exam in Pennsylvania, and we were taking a bar prep course, and it's at 15th at the Hahnemann, at 15th and Vine. And I was in there and I was looking around, and I got into a conversation with someone, I forget who it was, but anyhow, someone told me, he said, all of the male black DAs got white women. All of the white DA females have black men. And when I heard that, I was like, well, why is that? That's kind of interesting. So you've got, and I don't know how true this is over the course of black men being in professions, but from anecdotal evidence, it seemed interesting that a lot of the educated black men were dating or married to or in relationships with white women. So how does that affect relationships, black men and black women?
Renee, what were you going to say?
I guess the question becomes, at what point did the black male decide that he was going to go with the white woman? Because when you look at it, when you hear a lot of black men talk about, especially someone who is a lawyer, obviously more than likely when they were growing up, they probably were rejected by black women. And why
would that be?
Well, sometimes when people are kind of smart, they may be kind of nerdy. Their presentation may not be
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
And so ultimately they turn to what was more acceptable. And unfortunately, this is a stereotype, and I don't like to deal with stereotypes, and I really don't like to deal with statistics too much. However, if you look at it from a stereotypical standpoint, African American women, what we think is attractive, especially when we're younger, isn't the nerdy looking guy. We kind of go for the guy that isn't as smart, doesn't present as well, the bad guy who ends up in prison.
Is that also true for white women?
White women, I mean, I think you see it more now, but typically white women understand, they're indoctrinated with the belief that you go for the guy that's going to be successful.
Exactly.
Not the guy that is cool or the athlete. You go for the guy that is going to be in a position that can influence the family and generations to come. And who does that? Judges, lawyers, doctors, entertainers, CEOs of companies. That's why I believe with my limited knowledge, I believe that's why you see white women, black men choosing white women, because they were the ones who accepted them first.
Alright, I wanted to kind of do this video in response to an email I got, and I'll keep this person anonymous, but it's somebody who's a pretty good friend of mine here on YouTube. And you know, he recently emailed me and you know, explained to me the problems that he's been having with women, you know, stating that he has, you know, a hard time finding a quality woman, and when he does find that quality woman, you know, they tend to drift apart, and they tend to go for other men, and you know, they just don't seem interested, is what he says to me. And he asked me if I think it's him, you know, and you know, as I read that email, I'm like, you know, it's, and I know I'm hard on women a lot, man. I'm hard on women a lot in my videos, and it may make me seem like I come across as being angry and bitter with women, and it's really not that. It's not that. It's the fact that a lot of them are very indecisive, man. A lot of females are very indecisive, and you know, a lot of them state they want something. You know, they want this, that, and the other in a male. They want certain qualities, but a lot of times those qualities are right in front of them, and they let them pass, man. A lot of females let the good guys pass, and this happens more in the black community than it does the white community, man. It does. It happens a lot in the black community because a lot of good males, and there's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos done on this from other black males on YouTube, so I don't think I really am the first one to state this, but a lot of good black males are not appreciated by black women. A lot of black women. A lot of black males who are all about good and all about positive and doing the right thing are just overlooked, man. And it's like it drives me crazy because a lot of white males are appreciated by white females, man. A lot of the good males are picked first, and a lot of white males are picked first by by white females. That's who the females desire, man. They pick the white males first, the good white males first. You know, it's like the white males who are all about good and all about getting the education and being in school and having the nice house and the cars and all that. They're picked first, man. They're picked first, and it's like for a black male to be picked first by any woman, it's not just black women. By any woman, he has to have this superficial label to him, man. He has to be all about, you know, hustling and all about being on the streets and all about, you know, this superficial bling and jewelry and all this shit. And it's like that's why black males are having a hard time finding a quality woman. You know, and this individual that emailed me is somebody who I think high of, man. And this is a person who has great videos and has a lot of good to say. Just an overall intelligent guy, man. And when he emailed me and told me that he's having a hard time finding women, I'm like, I was surprised, because this is a good guy. But it's a likely story, man. It's a likely story, and it does piss me off, because I have the same problem. You know, I have the same problem. You know, it's like the women that I attract a lot of times are, you know, not very quality women, and it could be a product of my environment. I don't know, man. I don't know, but it really does frustrate me, man. And the part that frustrates me the most is because a lot of the black men are thinking it's them. It's a lot of the black males are second guessing themselves and saying, you know, what's wrong with me? And it's like I told this individual dude, I said, look, I said, it's not you, man. It's not you. A lot of these females are indecisive. They say, oh, there's not enough good black men around. All black men are in prison. All black men have AIDS. All black men are down low and all this shit. And it's like that's not true. That's not true, man. A good black man could be right in front of a lot of these females and they wouldn't even know. They don't desire these men, man. They don't desire the good black men. They don't desire the good black men. They don't, man. It's like, and then black men feel like they have to put on this artificial, you know, persona and be this character, man. They feel like they have to be this character who is all about superficial shit, man. And it really pisses me off, man. It really pisses me off, man. It does, because black men are the only men who are, you know, supposed to have this persona about him. It's like any other man is appreciated for who he is and what he brings to the table, whether it be good or bad. And, you know, the same can't be said with a black male, man. The same can't be said for a black male. You know, and before I sign up on this video, you know, I've had a few people, there's been a few people who question why I speak on issues in the black community, and it's simple. It's simple. Because for one, I'm half black, man, for one. And for two, it's because look, I care, man. I care. I care about what happens in the black community. You know, and it's like I don't know. It just frustrates me. It really frustrates me that we have men who second guess themselves and think that, you know, oh, you know, I'm not good enough being a good black male, so why don't I just turn to this superficial black male, man? My message to males is just be who you are, man. Be who you are, and you'll attract the right woman. The right woman will come along. But don't settle for these rats, man. Don't settle for these females who want you to be something that you're not. Be yourself, man. I'm being myself, and if I attract that right woman, that's great. If I don't attract her, then it wasn't meant to be, man. But yeah, be yourself, man.